All right, I think we're live. Okay, welcome to the Card Diary by Hobbyist Thompson. I am your host, Denny Cards, on all social media platforms, mainly on Instagram, very little on Threads. And today slash tonight, I have a very special guest who many folks might not have known about until maybe a week or so ago when you started seeing him and this card he pulled on your Instagram feeds. And that is because he is the breaker who pulled the Tom Brady Superfractor 1 of 1 out of 2023 Bowman Draft on Fanatics Live. So I want to welcome Valor Sports Cards. Welcome to the pod.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Yeah, should we just stick with the Valor, or can we say your
No,
government first name?
Valor's where I'm half class.
Okay, Valor. So, first thing I want to note is this episode and this entire podcast. It's not sponsored. It's not affiliated with Fanatics Live whatsoever. You are a breaker for them, and we'll get into when you started and your breaking history. Your entire cardboard journey.
Yeah.
But I thought it might be funny if because I know recently you made a reel where you wore the conspiracy tinfoil hat. So I Oh, there you go. Yeah,
I'll put it
yeah.
on
You already
eventually today.
Yeah, I gotta put this up on YouTube. You have a really nice setup in the background too, but you're currently wearing a Mets hat. Is that the Mitchell Ness tops lids one?
Yeah, it is. It's a 2022 version. Pretty cool. Yeah, it is a Mitchell Ness. Topps Chrome version. I think
Tops
you
chrome.
got it like exclusively online. I think
Yeah.
that's what it was. So that's where I got it from. Yeah.
So I in my area we just had Nationals and Orioles hats, but I feel like every store is carrying like Yankees hats, but the
Yeah.
Mets one looks really nice. It's for those folks listening in audio only. I think it's like a is it like pink or is that a different
It's like a ruby pink. I
ruby pink?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
lighter pink. It's a pretty cool hat. I mean, it definitely brings some flavor to your head.
Yeah, and the bill is what, like teal maybe?
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
say
it looks
so.
nice. Yeah.
When
Well, definitely not sponsored by Lids or Mitchell and Ness and not Fanatics Live.
Not
But
yet.
yeah, not yet. Yeah. Let's tell folks that I'm in the Fanatics inner circle and I actually was in on this whole thing when you pulled it, right? So that's what
Yes,
we're going to
yes.
talk about. So before we get to the pull on the card, again, thank you for being on the podcast here. Thank you for coming on just in such short notice with you pulling this massive card, like a product hit out of the product. So
Yeah.
I would like for you to share if I mean I was like if you're okay with it. I mean you have consented to share your kind of like hobby cardboard journey up to this point. So could you kind of talk to us about like how you've gotten to where you are currently with the hobby?
Yeah, I think it's from my point of view, it's merely a grind. Anything I do is just how much effort you put into something is how much you get out. So, I've been collecting sports cards since I was a kid. Me and my best friend used to go to a local tiny card shop under the train station, and we used to collect cards every single Friday. Definitely didn't cost as much as it costs today, which is more exciting. So, you know, then in my adult life, I was in the army for 8 years. I deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan, and obviously work took over, and I just kept going from there. And then recently, last year, I got back into it, fully got back into it, and had the opportunity to break on a different platform. And I just put my head down and tried to do the best I can for customers. I felt like there was a need for transparency as well as giving back to the community, giving back to the hobby. I genuinely enjoy more giving back to my buyers, my customers, even people that are my customers, but they have questions. I love giving back to it. So it's a lot of fun breaking, a lot of fun pulling really big cards, a lot of fun seeing, that guy that was collecting and trying to finish his set, and we were able to do that for him. So it's a lot of fun. That's really what the hobby is about, getting good people around with each other, meeting new friends, meeting new people, and, you know, breaking some fun stuff.
Well, There's a lot I want to dive into with what you just said, but you said 8 years in the military, so thank you so much for your service.
No, appreciate it.
And I know that's some people don't like that term or phrase, and but as we say a lot, right? Freedom isn't free and all that. So thank you
Yeah,
so much.
I appreciate it.
Um, so I want to kind of talk. I want to get a little bit more detail from you. When you say train station, when you're a kid, like where did you grow up? Like which train station and all of
Yes.
that?
So I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and on Avenue J, I think East 14th or 15th Street, we had the local MTA going, and right there was like just a little. It looked like a little room that someone had a card shop. And even to this day, that place is still closed, but it just brings back memories every single day. So on our way home, we used to always pass it from school, and we used to just stop in there, pick up a pack or two, and then just go home, read all the magazines, read all the stats, all the cards and everything. It was a really cool experience.
And was your childhood in the 90s or 2000s?
Um, 90s. I was born in 89, so 90s and then 2000s.
Okay, so I don't have the exact number, but for folks who have been listening to this podcast since day one, I feel like I've had so many folks from New York, and it's not intentional. I'm not seeking out people from New York, right? It's like,
Yeah.
even before I pressed record, I was like, I thought you were in Texas, and you're like, no, I'm in New York, and I'm like, what? So you just mentioned you were from Brooklyn. Again, listeners, from for this podcast, they know that. I grew up in Queens. 7 train was my train.
Okay.
Seems like yours was like the brown line, right? JMZ, right? Something like
I
that.
think the Q train.
Q
No,
train.
actually, I lived in New York City for a minute, so the Q train stuck on my head. I don't even remember the trains. I really don't.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
Brooklyn has so many trains run through there. I see. I now I'm in the DC metro area, and we have just the dreaded. See, we don't call it the subway here and all that, and the MTA. But when it comes to our train system, it is the metro is there's that term like struggle bus, but it
Yeah.
it pertains to buses. It's like the struggle train. It's really clean because there is absolutely no trash. Like you get fined, or I don't know, they have cameras. So it's a very clean, all the train stations are super clean. There's no littering, but trains catch on fire, there's derailments, there's smoke in the cars, and
That's just a regular day in New York City. I mean,
That's
let's be
true
real.
too. That's true too. So
Yeah.
you are a Brooklyn boy, and you were collecting as a kid, 90s, early 2000s. You go to serve your country, and you come back, and I imagine it's just a total, like for me. I remember I took a long break from a young adult to now, in my midlife crisis 40s, and it's just a different landscape with social media and breaking and grading. Like these things did not exist 12, 14 years ago when I last was in the hobby.
Yeah, I mean, it's at your fingertips. There's so much more information. There's so much more. I remember using like the PSA books where we used to look at how much a card would cost and things like that.
Oh,
We
the
don't
back
do
in,
that anymore, you
yeah.
know? So everything's at your fingertips, and the accessibility to the hobby only makes it easier for the regular person to get into it. And you can learn very quickly what it's about, and appreciate, if you're a sports fan, appreciate a sports fan, Pokemon, I mean, Magic the Gathering, Star Wars, anything that you're interested in, they have cards for it, so it's pretty interesting to get into.
Absolutely, yeah. And I will say it's interesting they said the PSA magazine because I'm not flexing here. I have the collectors club.
Okay.
I just paid a little bit extra for that, for being a PSA member, but
This
they
one,
yeah, exactly. Is that the one with the Jordan in the front, right?
did you get the numbered one?
No, there's like only
Oh,
like 500 of them or whatever it is.
oh God, we're not
Yeah.
special enough.
The influencers, yeah, I'm not as influential as I need to be to get that parallel numbered. But
Not yet.
yeah, it's interesting that they have a price guide. I never would have known that PSA would have had something like
You
the
know what's
Beckett
funny?
where, yeah,
Yeah, I looked at it, and I was like, there's a price guide still? This is
wild.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
wild. Yeah, Beckett had the high-low, and the PSA one has, like, a 9 and a 10, like, "Here's what we
Yeah,
think it should be," and who know no one looks at that stuff, but it's almost like the Costco membership, like, everyone people have the Costco membership, it's not like I mean, I've rifled through a Costco magazine once in a while, but,
right.
Costco likes to say that they're the number 1, uh, public magazine publication in the entire United States, and then it's like, yeah, because it comes free with the
Everyone's
membership,
got a
so
Costco membership, that's why.
yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
when it comes to, you mentioned sports, Pokemon, Magic, like, you primarily break baseball is my understanding, and is that the
Yeah.
sport that you grew up also collecting, or did you collect other things?
I used to collect baseball and basketball. I mean, in New York, the Yankees were just prominent in the late '90s, early 2000s. I mean,
Mhm.
we used to listen on the radio to the Yankee games, the Mets games. I used to record Yankee games that I missed in school. I used to record it on a cassette tape and listen to it back when I came home. I mean, it was a lot of fun back then, you know. So yeah, I mean, baseball's the sport.
You look too young to say cassette tape, but you are like you said, you're born in '87, so you're only 5 years younger than me, so you're squarely in your mid-30s, that means your knees are still good, your back
Yeah.
is still okay, you can
Well,
break,
not
but
really. The army screwed it up, but
oh,
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Well, moreover than not, you're right. I should be
Yeah,
okay.
but yeah, the cassette tape, oh my gosh, I won't see, this is the problem with me in this podcast, like, every little, door that gets opened up, just by a slight ajar, I wanna go down that,
It just
go
takes you
go into
back.
yeah,
Do you
um,
remember when we used to collect, the Yankees came out with the coins for each player? I don't have it on me, but I used to collect the Yankees, and there used to be just like a pin or something of different Yankee players, and you would be able to collect them. I don't
what
remember how we were able to collect them.
why in my head do I haven't heard that term, like, the Yankees coin in, like, decades.
Yeah,
But why do I all of a sudden in my brain have an image of, like, a Bernie Williams like,
yeah,
silver coin? Like,
yeah. Tino
that's
Martinez, Derek
you know
Jeter, yep,
yes. Of course, the
Scott
captain.
Brocious.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
good
Brooks,
times. I miss those
good
days.
good times. Yeah, so I grew up in Queens, so, like, it wasn't like anyone forced me to be a Mets fan, but I definitely basketball was definitely more of my sport, so
Yeah.
but I feel like in Queens, we were, like, for example, I've never been to Yankee Stadium, the old one, new one, whatever. But have I
Queens
been
is a different world in
yeah,
New
yeah.
York
I've
than
been to I went to one Mets game as a kid, and that was in Shea Stadium before, what is it, like, now, Citi Field or something like that.
Yep, yeah.
But I remember, I mean, I just, I don't know, like, yeah, there's something magical about a baseball game, just being at one in person.
It's cool,
So,
and you remember them. You know, I went to, Shea Stadium, I'll never forget this game. It was Yankees versus the Angels, but they played in Shea Stadium because a pole broke in Yankee Stadium. So they had to play in Shea Stadium. I remember Darryl Strawberry hitting a home run. I mean, those I think I remember every single game I've ever gone to as a kid. As an adult, I don't know anything, but as a kid, it
right.
was just
Indelible in your
yeah,
brain. I mean, the
yeah,
fact that Darryl Strawberry, again, I'm not a big it's gonna be so bad for me to start talking baseball, but, like, the fact that Darryl Strawberry was a Yankee and a Met, right? I
yeah,
mean,
crazy.
that's pretty cool. I mean, the whole Subway Series thing, and I mean,
Used
I
to
don't know
go
how
to
many
Subway
people
Series games. That was fun.
I missed that, at that time, but, that's yeah, no, definitely. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. I don't
Yeah.
wanna start talking about Howard Johnson and Mike Piazza here.
I
Um,
had Subway Series on VHS tape.
oh
I
my
bought the Subway
goodness.
Series on VHS tape. Yeah, I mean,
See, the things that I was recording as a kid of VHS, I remember, I don't know how I got this. It must have been a friend and we recorded at his house because my parents, we didn't buy pay-per-view or whatever, but so the first Survivor Series where Undertaker was introduced, I still have
oh,
that on
interesting,
VHS. I don't know how to
interesting.
play it. I don't have a VHS player, but I still
Yeah,
have that tape.
yeah.
Yeah.
I used
All
to
right.
I used to
Yeah.
record everything sports, even like Janet Jackson, the whole Janet Jackson. I still have it on VHS. You know, I mean, it's just everything was recorded on a cassette, and then we transitioned to a CD recording,
Mhm.
and then it transitioned. I mean, those were the times. I
You
still
know
have it.
it makes you wonder, we talk about like, the whole Fanatics 10x in the hobby, and it's been beaten to death at this point, but I feel like there for some of us, there's such a collector gene. Like, yes, it's right, it's trading cards and that's the hobby and that's why we're here, but
Right.
we just want to like preserve and collect memories, tangible objects that remind us of those memories.
Yeah.
I mean, does that resonate with you?
Yeah, I feel like the hobby's just mindless. It would resonate with a lot of people because first, cards can't hurt you.
Mm,
Monetarily, they can, but they can't hurt you. They can't bully you. They can't
mhm,
do any of those things that as kids people had to deal with. And then when they're an adults, they have to deal with reality, work. They hate their boss. They hate,
mm,
that they have a bad relationship or they just have a struggling life. I mean, cards are cards. They're cardboard, and you can have a dream of hitting a big card, and it's one of those important things where just for a lot of people, it would be like sort of therapeutic at a point,
mhm.
and for me, I was in the army for 8 years. I have PTSD. I have a lot of stuff, and like with with the cards, it's seamless. It's fun. It brings me back to my old days. And then obviously now it's more of a business for me. Still collect, but it's more of a business part for me. And I appreciate giving back, but it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We can't forget about that, the fun part of the
Yeah.
hobby. When you said, so is this your full-time gig? I know some breakers, it's like a part-time thing.
No,
Some
I have a different job outside,
okay,
but
which we don't have to get into. I just wanted to know
yeah,
if it was
I
full-time
I
or
have a
not.
different job outside, but I've focused heavily on breaking,
Mhm,
especially since I got on Fanatics.
mhm.
I've dedicated a lot of time and resource to doing it, so,
So
it's been very good to me, so keep going with it.
awesome. And are you a one-man show? Do you have like I know some big breakers have like the shipping and handling team, they have like other breakers who rotate in and
Yeah.
out. How about you?
Yeah, no, so I'm a one-man show. I'm the janitor, CEO, the HR, everything, the breaker, the shipper. I think my wife quit last night after we pulled the whole kit. No, I'm kidding. She helps a lot, but
Okay.
I do everything, so I'm breaking in the morning, shipping at night, and
Wow.
everything is out of my house in the morning. So,
Wow. So
yeah.
say like one day shipping, breaking. I
Even
mean,
if I could do quicker, I would. Yeah.
wow. That's
Yeah.
that's awesome. So we don't have to talk about the other platform that you were on.
Yeah.
But sometimes with guests, I like to go back to the Instagram journey and
Yeah.
just see where they came from and all that. So you definitely have especially in the past week, like you've grown more with your community that you're trying to build here and all that. But from an Instagram standpoint, it seems like your first post was June 29th, 2023. You posted about pulling a Patrick Mahomes base rated rookie card out of
Yeah.
Donruss. What
Yeah.
happened to that card? Do you still have it? Did you grade it? Did you sell it?
So what's funny is, I got that card and I never knew how to clean, and I felt like there was like a little scratch on the card, so I tried to clean it. I absolutely messed it up, and I ended up selling it to the wonderful repackers that were giving it to other breakers to repack. So I
Yeah.
can guarantee you, someone pulled out of a repack a PSA one Patrick Mahomes
Oh my
that I sold for
gosh.
$300 that could barely get a PSA two on a good day. So it's beautiful.
So that's not even a joke. That card graded a PSA 1.
No, it would have. I didn't even
Oh,
grade it. It
oh,
was
oh.
so
Okay,
bad.
okay.
Yeah. It
Got
was
it.
it
It
was
is a
awful.
joke.
It was
It
awful.
was that bad. Um, a little thing that I want to share with you and the listeners. So there are some people who try to get these really low grades, but then the fronts look beautiful and they try to post it on Instagram. And this is why like Instagram and social media in general is just can be so like, you know, there's the beautiful fake, and then there's the thing that people are, other people trying to run scams, and then you have people who are just like messing with people. So my understanding of how the cards can look so beautiful from the front but get like trash grades is that these folks, as again whatever, a lark, or they have money to just burn,
Yeah.
they will actually take like the breaker razor blade or, just one of those box cutters,
Yeah.
and they'll just make an X or some sort of mark in the back so that when a grader receives it, they look at the back. The front may look pristine, and then they
Right.
look at the back and go, "This is a jacked up card. Got to give it it's not an authentic or altered. It's just it gets a 1 or a 2."
Right.
So I just wanted to kind of share that with folks because when I saw those cards, I was like, "How is this?" Someone made this incredible base set of all of this, and they're like, "How is this possible? And these graders are terrible. How could they do this to people?" And it's
Yeah,
like,
it's
yeah, because you only see the front.
I don't want to put my tinfoil hat 20 minutes into this conversation, but
Yeah,
good Lord, the
yeah,
amount of conspiracy theories within this hobby,
hmm
if yeah, I mean, it is wild. And we didn't have this in the 90s. We didn't have
that's
this in the early
true.
2000s. We
Well,
didn't sit
yeah.
here and say, "Oh, this guy has fully loaded cases." It
Well,
just
we didn't
doesn't.
we didn't have social media, right? I mean, that's the
Yeah.
thing that
Yeah.
really it's like for both good and bad. Like I love social media and I also really struggle with it. It's like you go outside of the hobby, right? Regular social media, Instagram, and it's just friends posting their most beautiful vacation photos and looking like they're living their absolute best lives, and
Right.
yet they can just be absolutely miserable at home, right? I mean, that's
Exactly.
and so in
Yeah.
the hobby, it's like, look at these amazing things that you know I have, and it's like people have no clue how much it took to get that or
Exactly. Yeah.
and all that. So,
Yeah, it's
um,
interesting because like social media, obviously I've posted more, but you know, I've never been comfortable posting crazy amounts of success or um, posts in general. But obviously hitting one of the biggest cards in a product, trying to build my brand, I'm just really trying to have people know who I am.
mhm.
And regardless of what they think about when they come into my room, that they'll actually see who I really am. And then they'll be like, you know what? My assumptions on the hobby or my assumptions on this person, regardless of what he's posting, like he's legit. So that's really the whole idea.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to put it. And I, in anticipation of your episode, I didn't put up a hey, I'm gonna have an interview or a guest podcast recording with Valor Sports or a
Right.
breaker in general, mainly because I kind of ran out of time and I was like, oh man, but by this point, I'm not gonna
And you
get
know what?
any.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Your fan base wants ankle pictures in the
Stop
snow, and
it.
that's all they want.
In the snow.
They don't want to hear about a podcast. They want to see absolute riz on
You
your.
got yeah, thanks. Yeah, you gotta show some skin,
I'm
to
telling you.
that's Instagram, you gotta show the
Yeah,
ankles,
it was
but,
great. I
yes,
loved it.
thank you. Yeah, that's, in reference to my shovel pick,
I think
um,
I woke up to that. I was like, "This is
too much.
wonderful.
This
This is what
is
I want to wake up to."
yeah, this is too much for, 7 AM, like, what is going on here?
Hmm.
Yeah, my
That
wife
was
was
good.
like, "Why are you doing this to yourself on
Listen,
social
you
media?"
got the likes. That's what you want.
I got the likes, yeah. I can't help it. I can't help it.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to the likes. No,
Yep. Yep.
so yeah, I just wanted to look. I mean, look, you're in your mid 30s. I'm in my early 40s, and it's like, some of us old guys, we can still do it. That's kind of
Yeah.
my whole thing. It was like, I see these pictures of the 20 somethings, guys or girls, and they're just like doing their thing and showing how youthful they are, and instead of like getting upset at it, I mean, certainly part of me is like jealous. I'm like, oh my gosh, to be young again. But the other part of me is like, look, like, we all still got it. We
Yeah.
can do it.
Embrace it, and it's
Yeah,
just
embrace it and
just
love it.
find what
Yeah,
works for you. Yeah.
exactly. So thank you for that, for saying that. But going back to now that I'm like totally red in the face, um when it comes to uh, pulling this big card, the out of 2023 Bowman Draft, the Tom Brady Superfractor 1 of 1. Like, first off, I've said it to you on DMs.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Congratulations, and I think it's absolutely awesome that you did it. Um, there are the people who are like, "Oh wow, look at this! It's Fanatics Live. It's a Fanatics Breaker, and they got a loaded box."
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit like let's dispel some myths and but before we do that, I did want to kind of ask someone, and this wasn't like a Q&A, and someone asked me, "Hey, ask this to the
Yeah.
guy who broke it." But someone to me in general was like, "Hey, Danny, I saw that thing on your stories or your post." Like the question was, what is the incentive or the benefit for a breaker, big or small, when you pull a card like that? So I I presume or I imagine the answer is that kind of like it builds up your profile and it shows people you get onto the map or you get onto the into the hobby zeitgeist. But would
Yeah.
you say that's
So
that is
there's
the main
it's a
benefit or
it's a
something else?
twofold, right? So the bigger people in the hobby see my name now, right? So they categorize my name. They're like, okay, you know what? I know this guy. We met differently, and who I really am is how we met.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
I'll explain that in a moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I have people. Surprisingly, no one really wanted to reach out podcast. I think one more person wanted to like just chat, but there are people I'm connecting with through this card to get grading this and that where it's beneficial for me. And most often, I'll say 90% of it has been just so negative.
Mhm.
And it's comical to see from my point of view, being that I got these cases from local people that I mean, think about like hustling to get cases because you don't have a direct allocation
Mm.
and you're going on DealerNet, you're going to local people that sell cases on the side and this and that. The amount of hustle I have to get the cases itself is just it's mind blowing. Like I'm on my phone every day talking to this guy, talking to that guy, trying to figure
Mm.
out where to get a case. This guy was convincing me, get a case, get a case. I'm like, I can't sell it. I know my crowd. They don't want it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Lo and behold, I had to buy 15 teams in the break. So
Mm.
I had to buy half the break to hit that card. Loaded cases is the most asinine thing. Tops, Panini, they manufacture so many cards. They don't care who gets it. They care about the bottom line. Let's be real, right? If we're a big company, what do we care about one little card? What's that little card going to do for me wherever it breaks? It doesn't matter. We sold what 10,000 other cases to 10,000 other customers. We don't care about a little card. They're on to the next product. I mean, people don't understand business in its entirety. If they really think that a company's sitting there with a one silly card and like, oh yeah, because you know what? If they did, every single one of one would be a PSA 10, perfect
Mm.
condition,
Mm.
everything's copacetic. These cards are not. PSA 10s, perfect in a pristine box. It's just nonsense. The people, mostly the haters, are easily just jealous they didn't pull it,
Mhm.
you know? And really that's where it's at. That's where it stems from, is just jealousy in the world, jealousy. I'm not gonna even say the hobby, it's jealousy in the world.
Yeah.
And it's just exhausting to deal with. And at this point, I just fed into it. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I get loaded cases because the
Yeah.
next day we hit another one of one. So yeah,
Right.
I get loaded cases, and I keep telling them, come by with me. No one's gonna come by with, but
No, well, hopefully after they listen to this podcast, if they like baseball, ultra modern baseball, and they want to break with you, I mean, again, this is a platform where I wanted to uplift, a small breaker such yourself, because
yeah,
immediately
appreciate it.
when people see Fanatics Live Breaker, they think, "Oh my gosh, this is one of the big boys." But again, you're a one man show, and this is my whole podcast. The premise of this podcast is to humanize
Yeah.
people all
I
across
think
the
I'm the
spectrum in the
smallest
hobby.
guy on Fanatics,
Mm.
and I have 6,100 followers right now.
Hmm.
I'm top 10. I'm a top 10 streamer on Fanatics. I didn't get that because I'm a big streamer. I jump into garbage cans and rip my shirt off when I hit a mediocre card, a mid card, right? Oh, I did that out of pure grit and pure honesty and just taking care of my buyers. Like
Yeah.
tonight, we had some crazy, like two buyers literally wanted to buy two boxes
Hmm.
of cards over $300. And they're like, okay, whoever gets the lowest number out of their box gets to keep everyone's box.
Ah, yeah.
I did that. I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. And when the guy lost, I was like, this is awful. I can't let
Yeah.
this happen. So I gave him an extra box.
Oh my
It was like
gosh.
a $320 box. I'm like, I can't do this. This is crazy. You got
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
something. So it's just
Right.
like, it's different how you look at it.
I had such a brief breaking career, and when again I bought my own case of Revolution basketball,
Yeah.
and from blowout cards, right? And I remember I did a one box break where I felt so bad that people were overbidding and winning because these were like dollar
Yeah.
options that I just add in the spur of the moment, in a crazy moment. I just thought, you know what? I'm just gonna add on a second box because in my head I'm like,
I
I'm
do it all the time.
and I'm like, this is so bad. People were like, happy, but and again, from a goodwill standpoint and like building customers, it would have been so great if I kept that going because like there was a long-term plan in mind. I like
Yeah.
broke for like another month and I stopped, so it was like all for
No, I
naught,
get it.
but
That's
it
why
was fun.
in all of our shows, I mean, I go to card shows to give away stuff. I have a J-Rod baseball I'm gonna give
Yeah.
away, and it's
Oh,
just like
nice.
I gave away a Ronald Acuna Jr. baseball yesterday, and it's not to incentivize people to buy into my stuff. It's just come hang out,
Yeah,
come chill
just give
out. You
back.
get to win something, you get to break. Just chill.
So I will admit, I have downloaded Fanatics Live. I have
That's
not
good.
created an account. I may use a code that you give me. I know there's other people who said use their code, and I would love to kind of like support everyone and give them the free money, but
Don't use my code. Just come and say hello. Even if you
um
don't, just come and say hello. Check it out. I mean,
yeah,
you
I
saw my
should.
background,
I
so
yes, I know. No, you are again, I'm gonna get into how I got to meet you before this whole Tom Brady
yeah,
stuff, but I have a uh, I I know myself, and back when I had Whatnot about a year ago and I was getting into breaks, I didn't have a good plan. I didn't have a good budget. I went over. Not excessively over, but I just got a little bit over my skis, and I admit that now. But at the time, I'm like, it wasn't like I was like chasing. It wasn't like gambling. It was more like I just wanted to hit nice cards, and I
yeah,
just wasn't. And this is something I want to talk about down the road, but like it's funny how people are like, "Oh, if people don't hit, they're going to leave the hobby. If people get screwed over, they're going to leave the hobby." And it's like, some people will keep chasing. We
yeah,
think that they're going to leave. Theoretically, they're going to leave because they're getting screwed over, they're not hitting and they're not making their money back. But for some other people, that just incentivizes them to get into it even more.
yeah,
So
yeah,
so that's the wild part. But, yeah, I haven't opened up an account with Fanatics Live. I had it downloaded on my phone. And then the other thing, I guess, is that, I yeah, if I can just kinda get into the way I met you first is I had
yeah.
a giveaway, associated with just donating, to a charity with, Slapstocks, and it was Camp Kesem, and I said, "Hey, I got these, I wanna figure out a way to give back. Here are the cards you can win," and, there was, I think, like, 8
There
to
was a
10.
Kobe or something.
Yeah, yeah, there was, like, it
Yeah,
was all Kobe cards. I guess I remember very clearly because it was August 24th, 8/24. So
yeah,
that was almost exactly 4 months ago from the evening that we're recording this, and I you I didn't DM you, you didn't DM me, like, you just I guess you saw the post and you liked it and like, "Let's do it," and then I just kind of like we just did it, I guess. And
yeah,
so you and other folks got in. And then at the end, when I did the giveaway and I'm like, here are all the cards, all of you were like, just give them to the kids. Just give them to
yeah.
Camp
That's
Kesem. And I
fun.
was
Yeah,
like, you guys are so awesome. So you didn't know me from Adam, but you saw a need or, a charity giveaway thing. And you were like, I'm in. And you donated I won't say the amount, but like the most that anyone else did. And it didn't give you anything extra, but you were just so nice to just do that for again, not for just for the kids, right?
yeah.
Um, and so thank you for that.
I
And
appreciate
that
it. Yeah,
resulted in us just kind of talking here and there. And I knew that you were breaking and streaming on another platform, of which I deleted. and then I saw an announcement that you said you were going to start in Fanatics Live about a month ago.
yeah,
And so you've been again a one-man show, Fanatics Live, for about a month. You sometimes get help from your better half, and you
occasionally.
and occasionally, and you get your product, your boxes. You don't get it directly from Fanatics. You're saying you have to scrape to get these seal the sealed wax?
So most of my product right now I've had to get not direct. I've had to get from other people. Obviously, that's always the play to start getting direct boxes
Right.
from Tops and etc. But
Yeah.
it's not really to get loaded boxes. It's to allow me to be in the same playing field as the breakers that are breaking 100 cases.
Right.
And if I'm paying retail, I have to give it to the customer retail plus
Right.
X.
Right.
So it's something that allows me to provide value for you. And the whole idea of me breaking and trying to provide value is if I get it lower, my prices will be lower.
Mm-hmm.
We're on break comp already,
Oh,
uh, as one of the
exactly.
lowest
Yeah.
breakers with the prices, and I try to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. I'm so mad that I got NFL Prism 23 NFL Prism for
Mm-hmm.
I got it for $9,500 the case. Direct cost was around $3,600. Okay,
Ooh.
so all the big breakers getting it for pennies,
Yeah.
breaking it for 12 grand, 10 grand. I'm sitting over here, I'm like, I got it for 9,500. I wish I got it for 3,600. I would have been at 4,500 happy as a clam. People would have paid
Mm-hmm.
$1 to get in there.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where we always have to understand from like a breaker's perspective, like how much money we have to put in and shell out. Smaller breaker like me, we definitely have to put more money out, but I still compete with the biggest breakers on any app in regards to our pricing.
Oh my goodness. So I did have a question later on about break comp, but I mean you brought it up and I
Yeah.
think that's fantastic. So you are one of the lower priced uh habitually or consistently one of the lower
We
better
just started
value.
getting on it, so
Okay.
they've just recognized me. That's one of the positives from ripping that Tom Brady. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, who is this guy?
Yeah.
We spoke, and I told him like, you know what? My goal is to literally go and break comp. And if I could find average pricing before I put up a price and say, you know
Hmm.
what, I could be below average, why not?
Yeah.
Why do I have to be a number one? You
Right.
know, that's
So
all I do.
th- I don't know much about how the actual break comp. I know about the website and the Instagram account, and I know there's I don't know about controversy, but like there are people who are upset because they're like, oh, it's not all about the bottom dollar and it's about providing entertainment. And it's like,
It's all
okay,
nonsense. It's
provide.
absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
If someone's going to
Go
come
ahead.
to me as a breaker, showboating that they're on a private jet, and then telling me that you're going to come and break with me because I'm the best and I give you the best value, I'm a nobody. I ship within a day. We're breaking the same stuff. There is no flash in this. We
Hmm.
talk about everything in the like when I pulled the Tom Brady, we were just chatting the chat. We were just talking about nothing. That's why I didn't even realize it was coming.
Hmm.
So it's very difficult for like I think people will get a better understanding, be like, you know what? Great. What am I actually contributing to this breaker? Am I contributing a Ferrari? Am I contributing a private jet, or am I contributing an actual income and a livelihood for a breaker that's actually being honest, fair, and providing value to me?
I'm about to say something that I haven't fully fleshed out, and
Okay,
usually that can turn
you want to
into
unrecord?
no, 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 yeah, let's unrecord the last 40 minutes of this.
Yeah,
No, I am someone who does not want any of part of my content to be about politics, religion, and I'm
yeah,
not going to be like, oh, I don't like this politics or this religion or that. Like, I don't. I just want to stay neutral and
even
uh,
keel.
even keeled, right? So, what you just said though about, I mean, should I say the name? I mean, I know you mentioned private jet, and we're kind of dancing around it. So, maybe let's just keep dancing. There are, that particular phrase and that image can be indelible to some people's minds because it's about a particular breaker who's very
It's
prominent in
not
the
just
breaking
one
space.
breaker. Let's get it straight. It's not
Oh
just
yeah,
one
yeah, yeah.
breaker. There are plenty big breakers that we all
Uh-huh.
know that showcase a Lamborghini, showcase a
That's true.
Ferrari,
That's true. Yep.
showcase private jets,
Yes.
showcase the life that we all dream about, but
Uh-huh.
they really can't afford either because
They
daddy's
right.
money or they're just scamming you some way, shape,
Or
and form.
over leveraged or just
Yeah.
a parked car, just, "Hey, let me hold on to that for a
Exactly,
moment."
it's that dream that we
Right.
all obtain, and then, you know, it's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic, and what break
Yeah.
comp does, yeah, I think is very beneficial to the hobby, and hopefully what I'm hoping, I'm praying that that entity is, and I'm certain that they are, like, fair and legit and
Mhm.
actually out there for the good, so they've
Yeah.
they
It's
haven't showed anything else, you know?
right. Yeah, it's not, card porn running that break comp thing. No, I know
Exactly.
it's a real dude, and I've heard him on other podcasts, so yeah, shout out to him. I don't
Yeah.
know his actual name, but, I think he's doing some good in the hobby. But let me just say this, it might be controversial, but and I've had some time to kinda split tech and think about this, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it because it's been on the tip of my tongue. All of the showboating that we were just talking about and breaking, it really brings to the forefront of my mind the imagery of, like, these, evangelical, like, super mega church pastors, right? Because
Yeah.
again, I'm not getting into, what religions,
All the
people are and what I
motivators
don't, but, like, when you
all the
have
motivators that we see,
yeah,
all the people that have a following of people just to listen to their garbage.
so they get a lot of tithing or money, right, from their,
Followers?
congregation, yeah,
Yeah,
followers, from the congregation, and it's like, "Wait a minute, so this money's not going back into the community, it's not going back into, the church or, serving others, it's going into the lavish lifestyle that you've created,"
yeah,
and that, I think, does turn off some people. So when I think about the glitz and glamour with some of the breakers, I can't help but think about some of the mega church pastors who are also showboating their congregation's tithe money, I guess.
yeah, really. I mean, it's the opening credits to any American Greed episode. Let's be real here, and people like that.
Mm,
People appreciate it. Some people like it. Some people don't
yeah.
care. They like that bullish, narcissistic mentality.
So
But we're all breaking the same thing. There's
yeah,
no difference between, as you can tell. I mean, I'm pulling a Tom Brady one of one, and
yeah.
my prices were lower than everyone else on the same product. We're breaking the
Yeah,
same thing.
right,
It's just the overhead that I have. It's what I want to get out of a
you're right,
specific product. Obviously, I've
right.
been live in New York, so taxes are a little higher,
Oh, yeah.
but that's why I'm not hiring people. I don't want to add value or burden to my customer to
Mhm.
try to, you know, put them to pay my employees. I try to do it as short as possible. Will I eventually have to hire people? Yes, out of a necessity, but hopefully we're breaking a lot more than we are now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I don't know if I wanna, like, ask for, like, your, like, 5-year plan and all that, but I did maybe wanna ask, like, you were talking about your like, what you are not, so and what you are, but, if I had to ask you almost like in an elevator pitch way, what is your brand in, like, a 30-second elevator ride up? Do you have kinda like that ready to go, or, did you wanna
Yeah,
kinda
it's
workshop
very
that with
easy.
me? Go ahead.
It's very easy. So I'm Valor Sports Cards. I break on Fanatics Live from 8 a.m. until dawn. And what I intend to do is provide value, bring entertainment to customers that come and break with me. Baseball, whether it be baseball, Formula One, Star Wars, whatever the case may be. I just want to have fun. I want to chase your hits. I want to finish your set that you want. I actually want you to enjoy the hobby instead of the flash boating, the nonsense that comes around it. Just know your goal. If you want to hit a big card, we know what we want to hit. Let's chase it. And that's really where we're at.
Man, okay, now we got to the top floor. You can go to the penthouse now. No, thank you so much for saying it that way. I really appreciate that. I almost feel like, see, this makes me want to break again, but like your breaking style is very is very similar to the way that I wanted to break. And I think people like, again, there's some people who love the showboating. There's some people who love the kind of like I don't know. I think some people really want to remind themselves about how they used to be the high school
Yep.
big man on
High
campus. So
school
then,
jock.
yeah, so when they see these, some of them are being jocks, which I'm not trying to hate on, but like when they see kind of like that young aggro alpha male behavior, they actually love it. Like the
Yeah.
yelling, there's so many people on Instagram who go, "Oh, I hate the yelling. It's so bad. It's so loud." And yet it works and some people love it. And then of course there are some people who don't yell, and people, I think every breaker has their style, and their customers will gravitate towards what styles they like best. I
Yeah,
think that's the way to put
absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah.
So you're not a huge yeller. I remember watching. I mean that card is like a such a
It's
big
a
card.
real reaction.
Yeah,
There is
it's a real
no
reaction.
there is no additional chorus. I'm not in a Broadway show,
Yeah.
nor am I an entertainer on Times Square. I don't find that to heighten the value of the card
Mhm.
whatsoever, so there's no
Yeah.
need for it.
Right.
It's a real genuine reaction. There's no showboating. That's how I would react if I hit the card,
Yeah.
and that's how, a normal person I feel would react. Maybe a
Agreed.
little less, maybe, my slogan, I don't know where it came from, but I said Valor Sports Cards or death. Maybe people wouldn't say that, but it's one of those things. I was in the army. It's like, just that's me, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's a genuine reaction. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely sensed a lot of surprise and a lot of kind of like, I mean, there was just, it did seem, it was a genuine moment for a small breaker, right? I mean, it was just I wish you nothing but the best as you continue your breaking journey, because you do seem like a very down to earth good dude. And again, like just military, again, thank you for your service, but like
Yeah.
it seems as if the optics are that you're doing things the right way, and I really appreciate that. So don't disappoint me by doing something bad down the road. But no, I'm really
I
glad
mean, the
that,
only disappointment in the hobby that you see is greed.
yes.
That's all it is. It's all
Mm,
greed. It's all money hungry. And you know what? You're not gonna ever see me post that I have $500,000. I'm coming to this show and I want to buy your cards.
yeah,
It's not impressive, man. It
yeah,
like I appreciate it. You're a child. Me and you have gone through life in thick and thin. We
right,
are not children. We
right,
are companies. We want to break for you. We know exactly what you want. Let's just get to the point
yeah. No, I think
and have fun with it. Let's not get wrong. The ankle
yeah.
pictures, add that.
That's it. Yeah.
Do fun stuff, but you know, overall, let's not get crazy here.
No,
This is silly.
some of us are just trying to get our OnlyFans
Yeah.
feet accounts off the ground, one ankle at a time. That's
Listen,
that's what we're trying to
more
do.
power to you.
Yeah. So you, I mean, this is incredible. Like you had to buy 15 teams out of
Yeah.
32. Well,
The
NFL's
30 teams,
not.
30 teams. I
I
had to
say
buy
NFL,
15 of them.
MLB.
I
Yeah.
lost I lost what? 2,000,
Oh,
2,500 bucks, at least 2,500 bucks on that case.
oh man.
And you know what the best part is?
Yeah.
So how I treat my customers is the person broke it. It wasn't even in the show. I had to try to contact him. I literally Googled his name to see if any numbers pop up. His username was Prison Mike. So I found one number. So I called it, didn't pick up. I
That is
texted him like,
awesome.
"Are you Prison Mike?" The guy blocked me. So Prison Mike kind of is a not a great username. So we finally found the guy, and he's still in shock to this day. It's been a week.
Yeah.
This guy
Yeah.
just can't. You know, I reached out to 3 auction houses, and I found the best avenue of approach. Fanatics Live was able to facilitate PWCC, and we were
Hmm.
able to get him. Hopefully, we will get him all of the money that he gets,
Hmm.
but we were able to facilitate a white glove service from me. I personally drove the car down to Fanatics.
Wow.
They took it, they FedExed it with insurance up the wazoo all the way to California to get cleaned
Hmm.
and graded and sold on PWCC. So it's just a value added, That's really where it's at.
So you met Michael Rubin. That means.
No, no, no. He was probably Mykonos or some crazy
Yeah.
country or athlete.
I've actually seen you tag Hunter at Fanatics. I mean, not that I say his name like we're buddies, but is he like, are you guys is
So
he
you
like
know Hunter?
is he like your point of contact at
No, so
Fanatics?
Hunter's it's interesting. Once you're on the app, Hunter will come into a show and literally people would categorize him as a bot, but he would come in the show and he would just like he's like
Observe.
you ever go to a Jerry Springer show or something like that where there's a hype man where
Yeah,
like
yeah,
any
yeah, yeah.
right? So he's a hype man and he's like, you know what? The next person that buys a team, you get a 20% off discount on Fanatics,
Oh, I didn't know
fanatics.com.
that. That's
So he
cool.
gives like additional fun stuff for the stream and the community as well.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, I didn't know that. That's really cool. So,
Yeah.
you dropped it off in person to Fanatics headquarters in New York City, right?
Yep.
And then, I imagine that it's being graded with PSA, or are you
Yeah, it's
allowed to
gonna
say
go through
that?
PSA.
Okay,
It
and
went to
then
high-end breaks to get cleaned.
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes, high-end
They
breaks.
they requested it on Instagram. We facilitated all of this. I mean, it's such a
Yeah,
seamless process for the buyer. The
yeah,
buyer doesn't like he at this point he's like, just take care of it for me. I appreciate you taking care of it for me.
yeah.
I really don't know what I'm doing, so I trust you. And
Wow.
that's where that added value is. You know what? I'll take my time. I'll call these people, make sure everything's taken care of. So it's
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
I hope you have like a lifelong customer at this point. Like, hopefully the funds he receives from this Brady card go back into supporting,
I mean,
you
that
as
would be great. He
yeah,
could
yeah,
support anyone he wants, but that's great.
right.
I mean, you see, from my point of view, I'm like, I hope that like he appreciates someone did something good for him and he
Mhm.
like returns the favor to someone else.
Oh
Like that's
man,
the cool
that's
part.
so
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's such a good way of putting it, Valor. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, when there's like a chat going on? I mean, there's so many people who say, "Oh, people get into breaks. They're only gamblers. It's like a slot machine. They just want to pull the lever, put the money in, pull the lever, and then if they win, they just put it right back in." But how do you, like, you've talked about set collectors, you've talked about people that are buying for their
There
PC.
Yeah, so there are people anywhere from trying to hit a card. That's why I mostly do PYTs. I do random teams, simply like stadium clubs coming out tomorrow. I really don't know what's in this product this year. I
Hmm.
don't want someone to buy $150 team and not hit anything. So you know what? Let's play even keel on the first case. Let's pay $43. Everyone pays 43 bucks. Let's see what we hit out of this.
Hmm.
So you get a random team, but you know, more often than not, other than tonight, which I felt honestly awful about someone like absolutely losing a box that he
Hmm.
paid for because of the hit war or whatever.
Right, right.
You know, it's usually PYT and it's just a lot of fun to just chase. You know what? Gambling or not gambling, whatever the case may be, it's something that you enjoy that you can do with your hard-earned money. It's not killing anyone,
Yeah.
you know?
So what's a wild thing is, I remember, again, in my very brief breaking career, and mainly to do it just to see if I could do it, and see what the just being the other side, kind of like this whole Hobby S. Thompson, Hunter S. Thompson thing. I remember PYTs for me, and this is mostly basketball, mind you, and there are different, I don't know, maybe risk assessments and risk
Yeah.
tolerances for different sports and all that, but I had such a hard time moving PYT, and so many people wanted to do random. And I was like, "Don't you want to pick your own team? Don't you want to go pay a little extra for the higher premium teams and do all that?" And they were like, "No, um, I want to spin a wheel. I want to, I
Where
want to,
did you break on?
the one that you,
Exactly. So
yeah,
we're talking about the Wild West here.
yes, yes,
Either you're selling used bras or you're breaking at $1 and breaking 15 cases and hoping that someone's living a dream and a
yeah, yeah,
fantasy that they're going to hit a big card over 15 case breaks that they buy $500 into. You
yes,
know,
yes,
at this point, it's a very controlled process. And you know
hmm,
what? We have a case. We know what we're getting into. We know what we could possibly hit. You know what? You want to chase a certain player? Let's do it. That's
yeah,
where we're at.
yeah. No, if I do get back into downloading or creating an account with Fanatics Live and getting into, again, I'm gonna have to get into Valid Breaks. I
Just
wanted
say hello.
go
I don't need you to get in. Just say
yeah, I
hello.
just say hello, drop in and say hello, and then have Hunter give me, hey, 20% off.
No, no,
Get
no,
my
no. Don't use it on me. Just say hello. Just
um
hang out.
is I'm in the DC metro area, right? So Nats, and then of course, the the Orioles have such a stacked young team, but I would want to buy Nats and Orioles for PYT style. I'm not looking to turn it into a lottery ticket and go, oh, I want to put in $100 and make it into $1,000, or like for me, it's out of the 100. I hope I get something, right? But even if I
Yeah.
don't, like, I want to try to get, and I know for the Orioles it's gonna be a lot more expensive and harder, but like I would love to get teams that I want because I mean, Bobby Witt, Royals, it has no meaning to me.
Yeah,
Nothing against
absolutely.
Bobby
That's the
Witt.
whole
I just
idea of
don't
yeah.
know Bobby Witt. Yeah,
Obviously, like the Orioles these days, the Diamondbacks have such a deep prospect list as well as a rookie class that it is going to be a higher buy-in. But
yeah,
obviously, with a higher buy-in, you have a potential of a higher reward.
yeah.
Now, if you can't afford it, don't do it. Right? If it's your last
Right,
$100 and
right.
you're coming into me and saying I want to hit big, don't do it.
Yeah.
I've had to do it before where I've legitimately blocked people from my stream, not allowed them to buy
Wow.
simply because I know their situation,
Wow.
and should I do that? I don't know. That's what I would do. If I had a friend, I would hope he does that to me too. But you know what? If you can afford it and you want to get in the hunt, chase it. Chase it to your
Yeah.
heart's content.
Guess the worry is that they would go do it with someone else, but I mean, for you to say that you do that is it's in your name, valor. I mean, it's looking out for
Listen,
another.
I'm not a child here. I got
Yeah.
3 kids, 7, 5, and a 6-month-old. Not
Oh,
a child.
congratulations.
Yeah, I
We
appreciate
never
that.
talked about kids. I didn't know you had kids. I thought it was just you, the wife, and the pets.
No, 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 no. So, obviously Valor Sports Cards. One of the biggest reasons I started the Instagram account was because my personal account had so much news and so much propaganda that I just didn't want to see it anymore.
Mhm, mhm.
So, right now, I see ankles from you,
Yes,
and
yes,
that's my own sex content, and then I have
yes.
cards. That's it,
Oh my gosh.
so
You know,
yeah.
you came at the perfect time given that we are completely not in a election year. Well, again, I'm not trying to get into religion and
Oh,
politics,
yeah,
but
yeah, I'm sure it'll be different than I was with you with the government shutdown. I don't hear you. I don't hear you. It went down. No, you just have to unmute it, I think. I think it's just the unmute button on the on the computer. Yeah.
I I promise you that was not planned at any way. I did something to my microphone, but it is possible if you want to get that conspiracy tinfoil hat on that the powers that be did not want me to talk about anything related to this topic. So
That's it.
I really I
We're not gonna say it's a blue we're not gonna say it's a blue microphone, and I actually I had a blue microphone, I couldn't do it anymore, my chat
yeah.
was like, "I can't hear you," I had to spend the money to get a
Ah.
nice microphone, but yeah, I know that microphone.
Are
It's tough
you
sometimes.
SHURE, sure?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Shout out to Sure, man.
I
I
have to they're so good.
so I bought 2 microphones. Okay, so a little bit of revealing behind the curtain. So I bought a Blue Yeti, which this is,
Yep,
and a Shure microphone, and it came down to I returned the Shure microphone back to Amazon because I'm like, "Man, this thing is just a little bit too expensive." I
yeah.
Who knows? This podcast, I don't know how long it's gonna be around. So I decided, you know what? Let me just go ahead and return it. Some people love. I remember one time I poured my soul into one of my posts and I was like talking about something melancholy or wistful. And there was a comment being like, bro, what mic is that? And I'm like, man, I just spent all this time writing and talking about something really
Yeah,
deep, and they're like, "Hey, tell me about your audio setup." But that's
yeah.
that's the internet for you.
You know what
Yeah,
I love about your posts, your
yeah,
long 3-page winded
yes,
post?
yes, yes,
98% of people don't read it.
yes,
We just go into the comments and just absolutely troll you. It could be
yes.
the most revolutionary thing you have had to say forever, and you change the world. We don't care. It's too
Yeah,
big.
yeah. No, it's at this point, what
I
I'm
love it.
seeing my content being mostly is thirst trapping for
Yeah.
and cat memes. So
Yep.
I did a flipper cat thing that I'm stunned at the numbers, and I haven't like revealed more about it, but I cannot. It's like easily my most viral or liked post, and I'm like,
It's what
this
people love. It gets a
it,
crowd going.
it gets the people going.
Yeah.
I spent 30 seconds on that thing, and then I'll spend 30 minutes on something that
Exactly.
I'm like, "Oh, people are gonna love this," and there's, like, crickets, and it's like, "Wow, why did I even."
Not only crickets, but they like I think I do it too. I like absolutely troll you, be like, I didn't read it. I
Yeah,
read the first sentence and I
yes.
got bored. I don't know what you were talking about. So it's great.
Hey, you're just being honest. You're just
Yeah.
being a real New Yorker by being just brutally honest and, but in a nice way. Some people are, like, I don't think you troll me. I think there are definitely other people who are just, their tone and approach can be, improved upon. I'll just say it that
Yeah.
way. But no, I definitely love the support. I feel like, yeah, in return, I mean, thank you for being on this podcast, but I do want to return the love and the support by coming to one of your streams. So, before we kind of end this, because we are past the hour mark, I did want to ask, uh, you know, is there anything to plug? I mean, it's your break, it's your stream, but when and I know you kind of talked about the hours, but when can people find you and where?
Monday to Friday, Fanatics Live, 8 a.m. in the morning. Exactly every single morning, Monday to Friday, you'll catch me at 8 a.m. I'm always on Instagram at Valor Sports Cards. You can always contact me, DM, whatever you want, you can contact me. So I'm always available. And yeah, 8 a.m. Monday to Friday. That's where I start. When I end, who knows?
Yeah. Ah, okay. Who
Yeah.
knows? You did the brave thing. Now, before I let you go, I want to say I did see your Instagram bio. You put is that your personal number or your business
God
cell phone
no.
number?
God
Your
no. So
business.
no, that text message allows me to stay connected to my community.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, Fanatics owns my customers, other platforms own
Yeah.
my customers. How can I own my customers? It's through this text messaging, and it's merely for me to tell 300 people that I have a giveaway running.
Gotcha. So I will
And yeah.
okay, go ahead.
No. It's just like giveaways as well as if I have a big break that I find cool, let me post it. Let me see if anyone wants to come in. But other than that, I don't care. That's it.
Okay, so people can't call you and text you on it. Yeah, I'm see, the thing is I made the mistake of
You
giving
could
my
text
number
me
out.
on it.
Oh, okay.
You could
Gotcha.
text on it. But giving your personal number out, it's just don't do it.
Yeah, I messed up. I did that too much in 2023. I'm trying to undo that in 2024. Not that I have like hobby resolutions, but I feel like too
Yeah.
many people have my phone number. Not like I willfully gave it out or or anything like that. But I mean, not that I willfully gave it out to a bunch of people, but I gave it out to some people, and I think I just have to
Oh.
restrict access to myself. Oh no, he's
Oh
gone.
no. You lost me.
Your video's gone.
Oh God.
They
I think it's gone.
they're trying to
They're
kick us
trying to
out.
shut me down.
They're trying to shut you down on MTV.
That's it.
Um, this was an amazing way to end this podcast, I think.
What's that?
I think this was like an amazing way to end the podcast. My microphone, I have audio issues. You have like
Just
video
everything's
issues.
shutting down slowly. I think
Yeah,
I'm
no,
shut down. Oh God.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, this is really the perfect way to end. I've been trying to keep my podcast within an hour. I always fail, but I mean the guest episodes. But
Yeah.
Valor Sports Cards, Fanatics Live. I'm not sponsored by them or affiliated with them. You are, in the sense that you break in their platform. You're one of the smaller streams. You are, from all accounts, just a really good dude. Again, thank you for your service. 3 young kids in the family. That's amazing. Um, while you're doing this, as a one man show, is like all the props go to you for doing all that. So, thank you for everything you're doing.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on, and hopefully we can keep the conversation going. You know,
Yes, yes, absolutely. And I'll keep those ankle picks coming too.
please, please
All right. Take care, Valor.
talk to you.
All right. Bye.